Listen closely, as this information is crucial. You've probably heard throughout your life that remaining active is the key to longevity, and that holds some truth. However, after the age of 70, your fitness approach needs to be carefully considered. It's essential to be strategic because, realistically, pushing yourself too hard or sticking to the same exercise routines that were effective in your 40s or 50s could potentially accelerate physical decline rather than preventing it. So, what's the more effective approach? I'm going to outline 3 essential strategies, 3 core components that will support you in staying strong, mentally sharp, and engaged with the world around you. Strength forms the foundation of independence. It's what allows you to stand up, move comfortably, and interact with life on your own terms. Yet, as individuals age, they often neglect strength training, often prioritizing endurance-based activities, which provide less benefit over the long term, and in many cases, even hasten physical deterioration. This isn't simply about maintaining fitness. It's about preserving your vitality. After 70, your body undergoes changes that make preserving muscle mass not just beneficial, but absolutely vital. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle tissue, becomes a significant concern. It's not just about appearance. It's a reliable indicator of your longevity, resilience, and overall well-being. As muscle diminishes, balance deteriorates as well, and with compromised balance comes an increased risk of falls, fractures, and loss of mobility. Once movement is impaired, other aspects of health begin to decline. The difference between someone who thrives in their later years and someone who declines rapidly often comes down to a single factor: strength. Excessive cardio or endurance training won't halt this decline. In fact, they might exacerbate it by focusing on calorie expenditure and cardiovascular stress rather than muscle development. Of course, heart health is important, but it's only one element of the bigger picture. The ability to shift, lift, carry, and stabilize yourself is more valuable than the amount of time you can spend on a treadmill. Overdoing endurance activities can diminish muscle and create unnecessary stress on older joints and connective tissues, potentially leading to persistent discomfort and a higher chance of injury. What people require in their later years isn't exhaustion, but robustness. They should train for practicality, rather than for arbitrary fitness targets based on outdated notions about exercise. Resistance training is the solution, but not in the way most envision it. This isn't about lifting extremely heavy weights like a competitive weightlifter. It's about participating in deliberate, controlled movements that maintain and develop strength in key areas. The legs, core, and upper body must be trained to facilitate everyday tasks: rising from a seat, navigating stairs, carrying shopping bags, reaching for items overhead. The goal is to challenge the muscles sufficiently to encourage growth without causing undue stress or harm. Exercises such as bodyweight squats, controlled push-ups, resistance band exercises, and light dumbbell work can provide significant advantages without overwhelming the body. Regularity is more important than intensity. It's much more effective to do a few properly performed strength exercises several times per week than to engage in infrequent bursts of high-intensity exertion that result in exhaustion or injury. Balance and coordination are as vital as pure strength. Many older adults sustain injuries not due to a lack of power, but because they lose the ability to govern their movements. Strength training should always include exercises that challenge stability, single-leg balances, step-ups, or controlled movements that require the body to engage its core and smaller stabilizing muscles. This kind of training not only prevents falls, but also increases confidence in movement. A strong person moves through life with confidence, while a weak person moves cautiously, increasing the likelihood of accidents. The psychological advantages of this cannot be emphasized enough. When people have faith in their bodies, they participate more actively in life. They maintain independence for a longer period, and they resist the learned dependence that often accompanies aging. Another essential element in maintaining strength is mobility. Strength without flexibility is incomplete. It results in stiffness, joint pain, and a reduced range of movement. Too many individuals assume that pain and stiffness are unavoidable aspects of aging, when in fact they are frequently the consequence of inactivity and neglect. Strength training needs to be paired with mobility exercises, dynamic stretching, joint rotations, and controlled movements that keep the body flexible and adaptable. A strong, mobile body is one that can handle life's demands without breaking down. It's not about achieving extreme flexibility. It's about ensuring that each joint moves as it's intended to. Nutrition plays a vital role in this process. Muscle can't be maintained without sufficient protein intake. Many older adults unknowingly consume far less protein than they need, leading to faster muscle loss. Strength training must be supported by appropriate nutrition, lean proteins, essential amino acids, and sufficient hydration. Without these, even the best training plan will yield limited results. Protein synthesis decreases with age, meaning that older individuals often require more protein than younger ones to achieve the same muscle-preserving outcomes. This isn't about following a strict diet. It's about understanding the body's changing needs and fueling it accordingly. Posture is another aspect that can't be ignored. Over time, many people develop poor postural habits that result in chronic pain and physical limitations. Strength training should include exercises that promote proper alignment, strengthen the back and core, and counteract the forward slouch that comes from years of sedentary behavior. Good posture isn't just about aesthetics. It affects breathing, digestion, and overall energy levels. People who stand tall move more confidently, which has both physical and mental benefits. Recovery is as crucial as the training itself. Younger people can often push themselves to the limit and recover quickly, but after 70, the balance shifts. The focus should be on sustainable progress, not reckless intensity. Rest days should be seen as a part of the training process, not as wasted time. Recovery methods like adequate sleep, massage, light activity on off days, and even meditation can enhance the benefits of strength training. The nervous system must be allowed to reset, and the body must be given time to repair and become stronger. Overtraining leads to fatigue, injury, and burnout, all of which negate the benefits of exercise. Strength training isn't about chasing numbers or trying to regain the physical abilities of youth. It's about maintaining the capacity to live life fully. It's about being able to carry your own shopping, get up from the floor without assistance, and move through the world without fear of fragility. People who train for strength in their later years don't just live longer. They maintain their independence, their confidence, and their dignity. It's not just about adding years to life, but about adding life to those years. The mind is as important as the body, and perhaps even more so. As people get older, they often focus on physical well-being while neglecting what defines their ability to engage with the world, their cognitive and social participation. The truth is that mental decline isn't inevitable, nor is it simply a consequence of aging. It often results from inactivity, from avoiding intellectual and social challenges, from letting the brain coast when it needs to be pushed, exercised and stimulated, just like any other muscle. Mental agility is built through participation, through challenges, through continuous learning and adaptation. When people stop exposing themselves to new ideas, when they fall into passive routines, their minds deteriorate in the same way that unused muscles weaken. One of the most important things to realize is that intelligence isn't fixed. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself and create new connections, continues throughout life. This means that mental sharpness isn't a gift that some are fortunate to keep while others lose. It's a skill, a practice, something that must be nurtured and maintained. Learning should never stop. Engaging with complex material, books, discussions, puzzles, music, even a new language, forces the brain to work in ways that keep it active and healthy. The mistake many people make is assuming that retirement means relaxation, that they've earned the right to stop pushing themselves intellectually. But this isn't about proving anything. It's about survival. The moment the mind stops being challenged is the moment decline accelerates. Reading is one of the most effective ways to maintain cognitive strength. But not just reading for entertainment. Reading that challenges, that requires active engagement. Fiction that explores deep psychological and philosophical issues. History that offers new perspectives on the world. Scientific literature that encourages critical thinking. This kind of reading stretches the brain, forcing it to make connections and grapple with ideas. It's not enough to passively absorb information. There must be active analysis, reflection, even debate. The process of struggling with a difficult text, of thinking deeply about its implications, is what keeps the mind sharp. Passive consumption, whether it's mindless television viewing or scrolling through social media feeds, does the opposite. It lulls the brain into a state of complacency, weakening the very faculties that support independence and mental sharpness. Equally important is conversation, genuine conversation, not superficial chit-chat, but discussions that challenge viewpoints and require the articulation of thoughts. Debate is a vital exercise for the brain. It sharpens reasoning, deepens understanding, and strengthens neural pathways. Too many people, as they age, only surround themselves with those who reinforce their existing beliefs. This is perilous. Intellectual comfort is a gradual poison. Growth occurs in discomfort, in the willingness to engage with opposing viewpoints, in the ability to consider ideas that challenge deeply rooted assumptions. Seeking out conversations with those who think differently, who have varied experiences and insights, fosters mental flexibility, the ability to argue a point, to listen to counter-arguments, to refine one's understanding through dialogue. This is what keeps the mind vibrant. Beyond intellectual stimulation, there's an equally pressing need for social participation. Loneliness is as detrimental to health as smoking or obesity. It increases stress, weakens the immune system, and accelerates cognitive decline. The human brain evolved for social interaction, for connection, for the exchange of ideas and emotions. Isolation is unnatural. It's no coincidence that those who live the longest, healthiest lives are those embedded in strong communities, who maintain deep relationships with family and friends, who have people to talk to, laugh with, and rely upon. Many people, as they age, withdraw from social life. They lose friends over time. They disengage from their community. They stop making the effort to build new connections. This is disastrous. Social withdrawal leads to a loss of purpose, a decline in cognitive function, and a weakening of the psychological resilience needed to navigate life's challenges. Relationships must be nurtured with the same dedication that one would apply to physical health. This means reaching out, making plans, being present, and investing in others. It means listening, being genuinely interested in the lives of those around you, and maintaining curiosity about other people's experiences. Relationships are not just about emotional support. They are about keeping the mind engaged. Conversations introduce new information, new viewpoints, new challenges that require the brain to process and respond in real time. This is why friendships are not a luxury. They're a necessity for mental longevity. A key element in maintaining both cognitive and social agility is involvement in meaningful activities. This doesn't mean just hobbies to fill time. It means participating in pursuits that require growth, contribution, and commitment. Teaching, mentoring, volunteering, or even starting a new business venture forces the mind to remain active and engaged. Purpose is a powerful antidote to decline. When people have something meaningful to invest their energy in, they remain sharp, motivated, and resilient. The mistake many people make later in life is assuming that they are no longer needed, that their best contributions are behind them. This is incorrect. Those with experience, knowledge, and wisdom have more to offer than ever, but they must choose to step forward rather than withdraw. Routine is another double-edged sword. While structure provides stability, too much routine can lead to mental stagnation. The brain thrives on novelty, learning a new skill, traveling to unfamiliar places, meeting new people, even taking a different route on a daily walk. These small acts of variation stimulate cognitive flexibility. The more the brain is exposed to the unfamiliar, the stronger it remains. It's easy to fall into comfortable patterns, to resist change, to settle into a predictable rhythm. But predictability is the enemy of growth. Seeking out new experiences, even in small ways, keeps the mind adaptable, agile, and engaged with the world. Technology, if used correctly, can be a powerful tool for maintaining cognitive and social health. Many older individuals resist technology, seeing it as intimidating or unnecessary, but used wisely, it provides access to vast amounts of information, learning opportunities, and social connection. Online courses, virtual discussion groups, video calls with family and friends. All of these tools can be leveraged to stay mentally and socially active. The key is to use technology as a means of engagement rather than passive consumption. Watching endless hours of mindless entertainment is detrimental, but using the internet to research new topics, participate in debates, or communicate with others is intellectually stimulating. The distinction is crucial. Another often overlooked factor in cognitive agility is physical movement. The mind and body are deeply interconnected. Movement, especially activities that require coordination and balance, stimulates brain function. Activities like Tai Chi, dancing, or even learning new physical skills challenge both the body and mind simultaneously, strengthening neural pathways and promoting overall mental clarity. Merely reading or conversing isn't sufficient. Physical activity must be integrated. A sedentary mind is often the product of a sedentary body. Attitude is crucial for maintaining cognitive and social vigor. Individuals who perceive themselves as being past their prime for learning, who accept cognitive decline as unavoidable, or who avoid intellectual and social pursuits due to fear or inactivity, are setting themselves up for a negative outcome. A growth-oriented mindset, one that embraces ongoing learning and views obstacles as opportunities rather than limitations, is paramount. People must maintain the conviction that they can continue to learn, evolve, and contribute. This conviction fuels action, and action distinguishes those who flourish from those who decline. Walking is one of the most undervalued yet effective activities a person can do, particularly after age 70. It's often dismissed as too simple, too basic, as if genuine exercise needs to be more intense or complex to be worthwhile. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of what the body actually requires as it ages. Walking isn't just about movement. It's about preserving independence, mobility, and a strong connection to the world. The problem is that many people stop walking intentionally. They reduce their physical activity to what's strictly necessary, moving around the house, walking short distances from the car to the store, but they no longer view walking as a vital part of their daily routine. This is an error. The body is designed for walking, and when that ability diminishes, everything else suffers. What matters most isn't just the act of walking, but how it's done. It must be approached with intention. A slow, disengaged shuffle doesn't provide the same benefits as a deliberate, mindful stride. Walking should involve an awareness of posture, an effort to maintain an upright position, a steady pace, and a focus on deep, controlled breathing. The body responds to how it's used. If walking is done in a hunched, hesitant manner, the body will adapt to that posture. But if walking is approached with strength, balance, and purpose, the body will reinforce those qualities. Walking isn't just about moving the legs. It's a full-body exercise. It engages the core, stabilizes the joints, and promotes circulation, all of which are crucial for maintaining health. One of the greatest benefits of walking is that it strengthens the connection between the body and the mind. Movement stimulates brain function, increases blood flow to the brain, and promotes cognitive clarity. There's a reason why some of history's greatest thinkers used walking as a tool for problem-solving and creativity. The rhythm of movement, the exposure to the outside world, the engagement of the senses, these all contribute to mental sharpness. Walking provides an opportunity to think, to reflect, to process emotions and ideas in a way that isn't possible when sitting still. It's not just an exercise, but a mental practice, a form of active meditation that strengthens both physical and psychological resilience. The environment in which walking takes place matters as well. Walking outside, in nature, or even in an urban setting where there's stimulation and variety, provides far more benefits than pacing back and forth indoors. The brain thrives on novelty, and the changing scenery, fresh air, and natural light all contribute to overall well-being. Sunlight exposure helps regulate circadian rhythms, enhancing sleep and mood. Interacting with the outside world, making eye contact with others, observing the details of the environment, all of this keeps the mind engaged. Walking in nature, in particular, has been shown to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall mental well-being. There's something profoundly human about moving through the world on foot, something that connects people to their surroundings in a way that no other form of movement does. Balance and stability are critical components of walking that must be actively maintained. Many older adults develop a fear of falling, which leads them to move more cautiously, often reinforcing instability rather than preventing it. The best way to prevent falls isn't to walk less, but to walk more, with attention to strength, coordination, and posture. Engaging the core, keeping the shoulders back, and maintaining a steady stride all contribute to stability. Walking on varied terrain, rather than only on smooth, predictable surfaces, helps train the body to adapt and respond to different challenges. This is essential for maintaining real-world mobility, where surfaces aren't always even and predictable. One of the biggest barriers to regular walking is simply the absence of a habit. Many people assume that if they're not experiencing pain, they don't need to move more. But waiting until physical decline is noticeable before taking action is the wrong approach. Walking should be as regular as eating, as natural as breathing. It shouldn't be something done only when convenient, but something that's prioritized every day, regardless of weather or mood. Even short walks, done consistently, provide enormous benefits over time. The key is to integrate walking into daily life in a way that makes it non-negotiable. Social engagement can also be incorporated into walking. Walking with others, engaging in conversation while moving, combines two of the most powerful tools for longevity: physical activity and social connection. Many cultures that produce long-lived populations integrate walking into daily life in ways that are social, communal, and meaningful. Whether it's walking with a friend, joining a group, or simply making a habit of walking to visit someone instead of driving, these small choices reinforce both physical and social health. Walking shouldn't be seen as an isolated activity, but as a means of interacting with the world and the people in it. Physical activity shouldn't be seen as a penalty for aging, but as a strategic tool for extending life. Too many people make the mistake of thinking they need to push their bodies to the extreme, participating in overly intense workouts that cause more harm than good. The truth is that after age 70, the focus should shift from chasing performance to maintaining vitality. Movement should be intentional, designed to support mobility, strength, and overall well-being, rather than simply burning calories or achieving arbitrary fitness targets. The key is to pay attention to the body and work with it rather than against it. Overtraining can lead to joint pain, chronic fatigue, and an increased risk of injury. Instead of extreme workouts, the emphasis should be on controlled, deliberate movement patterns that reinforce stability, flexibility, and functional strength. Activities such as yoga, tai chi, and controlled resistance training offer significant benefits without the excessive wear and tear that high-impact exercise can cause. These forms of movement improve coordination, reduce stiffness, and enhance posture, all of which are vital for maintaining independence. Recovery also becomes more important as we age. The body takes longer to repair itself, meaning that rest is just as essential as activity. Quality sleep, proper hydration, and adequate nutrition all play a role in sustaining energy levels and preventing physical decline. Taking rest days isn't a sign of weakness, but a necessary part of long-term health. The goal should always be sustainability. Movement should be something that enhances life, not something that depletes it. The focus should be on feeling strong, balanced, and capable, rather than simply exhausted. Exercise should serve the purpose of keeping the body resilient, the mind sharp, and the spirit engaged in the world for as long as possible.